Hello everyone, my name is October Raven, and the name of the game is Disco Elysium. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and obey. I keep forgetting to say it's like, subscribe, follow, obey. Alright, I was about to listen to the tape as I pop a pill I forgot to pop earlier.
The compact tape player is still and silent. Seems it has completely broken down now. The machine was made in Revachol by a company called Elysium. Their logo depicts the triple-towered Delta skyline. It was supposedly built to last.
This would have been very helpful with the Megamix, but it isn't anymore.
Any ideas?
My Kinema only comes with radio. Let's try to find a new tape player. Perhaps we should talk to Roy at the pawn shop. He has stuff.
Okay. Gonna have to earn some cash then, probably. Yeah, should have figured out it wasn't that simple. Pawn shop.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says, Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
This Stereo 8 approved machine here
is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel format, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
This all work in order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. Found sounds and music from a variety of genres, even though I don't really like music.
That's odd. Why doesn't he like music?
Wait, how do you not like music?
The stuff I record myself, silverware shaking in drawers as motor cars race by, nocturnal animals climbing on the roof, airship rotors, that kind of thing.
Maybe you should ditch music as well. Get into these more experimental sounds he's describing.
Don't suppose I can get a please discount.
A discount? I do have to keep the lights on, man. It's 12 real.
Remember, he doesn't like music. He likes sounds. The Doorgunner Megamix is his type of tape. Certainly, he'd give you a discount if he knew you'd play something so experimental.
I'm not just doing any police work. I've got the Doorgunner Megamix, era defining. 4 real?
4 real is offensively low, but just this once. For the music, concrete, cop.
Thanks, dude.
And here you are, quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever, turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
Damn, he doesn't have any other music, huh? Alright, so let's listen to it.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reels attach to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Let's play it.
You push command set, and the tape starts spinning. Violent static and machine sounds fill the air.
This isn't Revachon. This is a fucking village. I can almost see the elephants.
The harbor. That's the son of a Valson crane.
When this shit is done, I'm gonna tear that place up. Soldier of the Apocalypse style. Kill shit. Dogs and chickens too. Gonna run a room, Cordy. A real nice I don't give a shit. I'm fucking done. I'm done mentally. I'll fucking do them all in. Rape that disco cunt on the counter. You know, the dance a whore upstairs. Do it Kohoi style. Never did get that taste out of my mouth.
The lieutenant presses the button marked Arrête on your porter reel. The tape stops spinning.
That was weird silence at the very end, huh?
End of recording.
What do you think?
It seemed authentic enough. Probably recorded off the shortwave, then edited to seem more incriminating. He sounded like he was on patrol around the harbor walls.
Sounded drunk.
Still.
Who's courting?
One of the other mercenaries, I think. The one he was talking to. A friend of his?
Kohoi?
A village on the Samaran Isola, in South Safre. Grad committed war crimes there, the kind of thing he talks about.
The South Safre conflict is an ongoing proxy war between Grad and Safre. It has been hot for 12 years, with the atrocities piling on, mostly committed by the Grad.
So you think he was there?
Who knows? Maybe the tattoos would have an answer. Or maybe Kohoi is just merc talk for atrocity, slaughter.
A symbol of soldier of the apocalypse style conduct in a civil environment.
Well, what now?
I think we've got a few more questions for class here, don't you? This seems to contradict her testimony, at least to some degree.
As you take out the tape, the boombox tunes itself back to the cheery radio again, spewing out beats like it's a Friday night. The contrast feels chilly, inappropriate even.
Yeah, back to notebook. I can level up. What do I want to level up? Could use more endurance. Get more endurance. I feel like I really need that now more than anything else. Why am I still old?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, now without the expression.
Okay, I can't actually do it yet. Alright. Let's go back.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
So Titus Hardy gives a recording. This he states his intention to assault you.
She puts her coffee cup down with a soft ring. As the porcelain meets the metal table, this does not surprise her.
Did he? I never said he was a good man, or that he had good intentions. Only that he was never bad to me.
She doesn't care. If anything, she sounds amused.
Like I said, he identifies you as a target.
Where did they get this recording exactly?
It's intercepted radio chatter of the deceased, recorded via a de-encryption station. It's authentic enough.
Does he say he's gonna do it Soldier of the Apocalypse style?
Yes.
Yeah. That was practically his pickup line. Did he say whores a lot? Was he pretty much on the verge of doing it Cohoy style?
Yes.
He liked the way it sounded when he said it. As to Cohoy, he wasn't actually there. He didn't do a tour, or at least didn't tell me he did. Would have been overkill anyway. He lived his own little Cohoy. It wasn't his everything.
You think he was trying to scare people?
No. I'm pretty sure he did all those things. And then had to internalize them to keep on living. Until they just sort of turn into his, what's the word I'm looking for?
She's quite observant about the human character. Trained to observe, even.
Coping persona?
Running joke.
Ah.
I was gonna say running joke. And it sounds like you didn't even get the good bits. Lely's punchlines got way, way funkier than that. He was like the Seminoles conflict, the Cohoy massacre, and the 36 famine in Yezud all rolled into one person, then cast in Orani ceramic armor, which he wore in bed and in the shower.
You weren't afraid of him?
Afraid of what? That tape the Hardy Boys recorded? Your mother probably never told you this, but girls are evil. Had I the physical robustness and social support, I'd be in Cohoy. I would be tearing it up Soldier of the Apocalypse style.
She wouldn't. She doesn't have the full Hoy in her.
Did he tell you he had actually done any of those things? He and Martinez, I mean?
No. We were too busy laying waste to our own nervous systems to direct any of the fury outward. He seemed happy, I guess. At ease. As much as a man like him could be.
What kind of man was he? Before you go, ask for details. She seems okay to talk about it.
Thank you for clearing that up, miss. Whenever you're ready. I'm interested to hear what Titus Hardy has to say now.
She takes a very small sip of her coffee and smiles.
What can you tell us about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
His real name wasn't his?
Lelystad. That's a good start. It just occurred to me, colleague. We still haven't performed the field autopsy on the deceased. The questions I have assume some kind of foreknowledge on our part. I suggest we go and perform it now, and return once we've brought ourselves up to date.
I have other
All
questions
right,
first.
but quickly. She has endured that sight long enough. It's time for us to do our duty.
The young woman nods in silent approval. Then,
Alright, let's turn to this later. We're not gonna do that yet, because I still want to tear.
this window is
Alright. Yeah. Yeah, let's arm ourselves with the knowledge that she has first. In the meantime, I want to go back in here and see if I can find anything special. Hold on. Useful.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by go.
Yes, I know, okay. Alright. Let's put that pry bar on.
This orange machine is buzzing
Physical
like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer. This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. The ice squeaks beneath
Damn.
the pry bar. You think you've got the bar jammed in there pretty well, but the lid simply won't budge. You see the pry bar's metal handle bending right before your very eyes.
Yeah, well, that's a good pry bar. I'm not criticizing it, but this ice cream maker is frozen shut. It takes an advanced tool to get it open.
Well, where do we get one of those?
I have no idea, officer. This ice cream maker isn't important enough to requisition a special tool.
Sooner or later, you will stumble upon a tool mighty enough. Then we will know what's in this mysterious ice cream maker. Motorway South. The lone vector stretches in your mind's eye into the wild pale yonder. For an unimaginable distance, forgetting, until you can no longer remember anything. No cities, no mountains, no oceans, and finally, no vector. Nothing remains. A blank space with no point of reference, where only one type of motion is possible. The motion of a human throat. Swallow in, and then it comes to you. To reach the end of the motorway south is to be unborn. You've had this thought before, while aimlessly wandering the streets of Jamrock. A lost piece of the man you were. A dark hope.
Huh. Ooh, wait. I don't think I've been here before. Wait, what? But why don't I have Inland Empire bonus then? It doesn't make any sense. That's weird. Something else here.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Okay, but I've already found that, so that doesn't really help me much. Alright. Ooh, what's this? The wall collapsed.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Huh. Looks like a furnace.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice, or several voices, talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
Hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
A thick layer of cold dust
Maybe it's a
covers the
malignant
furnace.
entity.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. Then what was the chatter you heard?
Hello. I didn't notice this part before. Oh, wow. Polyhedral dice. Huh.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
What do you mean by milius?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused. I didn't knock on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
I was actually looking for something else. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like those games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Sounds about right.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. She's thankful for the security they provide her.
So, what do you know about the man who was lynched by whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then, the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
The Daily Ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off your work?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark
that also
outside.
tracks.
Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I
She
see.
nods.
Anything else, officer?
So, what is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
So, I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Place that it's the book owner she sent me. She thinks that the place is swarming with malicious enemies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Not really. She has to have her own daughter, here to help her work.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Well, I wouldn't say it's doing great either. Waitress took off, customers have trouble paying bills.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons. Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Place thinks that you're because of the source of it. It's kind of malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
I really don't think so.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
Let me get back to that. Shivers, shivers, shivers. I have something for shivers. That would be this. Let's try it.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Let's try it.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Nah, leave
She
it at that.
has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
What happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Well, there used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
Oh, customers should have been more open-minded, to be honest.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
Okay, what about the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemiteps Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's the guy who's throwing rocks at the dead body.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
Who is Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
And how did that work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What about the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milius. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu? Trust me, you don't want to know.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
What's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
Was there a taxidermist here?
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
Creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
The what?
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
But insects don't have brains or feelings, do they?
Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
I saw some rollerblades and skis.
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them?
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Well, they did put a lot of work on that project.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Man, that project looked cool though.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else?
What about that taxidermy bear?
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Okay, let's go.
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really doesn't know how to be a female ally. Fritta does the same thing.
Oh, girl, just like that. She works for Fritte as a cashier. She's not particularly friendly.
Employing Soki teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear.
I guess it didn't work out.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool. Scary, but cool.
Megatherion?
Megatherion, a mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I don't do drugs.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Well, there's a building's intercom. It's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So the doorbell, the one in the empty name card, yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I saw Whirling in Rags had one, so it's part of the same building.
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I saw East Delta Pinball.
Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Okay, Kim, I hate you now. Pinball is awesome.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
Okay, Kim, you suck. Pinball rules. There was a company called Slipstream SCA, and someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
No, she said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
No, something else. Something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
That's it for now.
Your flashlight slides over an old green. Some of the writing has.
Oh, we've looked at this before. Wait, I don't remember. Oh, wait, that's the door. That's the door. That's the door. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. Actually, wait. Let me try that again.
This old fireplace, the whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles. Barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
There's no collars on this barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
We just remove the collars. That should be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Let's go for it. Yes!
Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but you're a savage. This is a children's game.
Oh yeah.
A warm wave of accomplishment washes over your head as you drop the barbell to the floor. For a moment, it feels like you're strong enough to succeed at anything you ever set your mind to.
Good technique.
Oh, that was the warded door. That was the warded door. Alright, so what else we got here? I'm missing something. I don't think I am. Alright, back to the door. Empathy, empathy, empathy. Empathy. Okay, none of these are empathy. Okay.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Why are you missing here? What is...
You have absolutely no idea. Familiar?
Alright, that was worth a shot. Well, let's break the news.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus.
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It's a Charnel house of failed business enterprises, leaving like journey from this bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
She's actually a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
No, she's just a businesswoman like you. No, I have felt her aura. She's not the one to blame for this curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
I don't have an answer yet. There are leads to be followed. Strange radio computer thing.
You're telling me that you went in there and didn't find out anything about the curse? Of course. I should have known better than to put my hopes on a man like you. You're no Simonese ghost whisperer. You're an alcoholic. The investigation's over. I don't want you going in there anymore. You're only angering the psychic weather in here. Now, if you're not going to buy anything...
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am.
still going in there anyway, 'cause you can't stop me. I am Mr. Revachol. Well. I might need it.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright countenance of the blonde boy depicted.
Damn it.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter. Shirt. Let's go for it. The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Alright.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Damn it!
You give it another, more ferocious.
Demolish the place.
I don't see how this is going to give new results. There must be another way in there.
How?
Through the kitchen door, perhaps. Let's explore rather than destroy.
It could be that your eyesight is still too poor to notice it. Behind that window.
I know this is scummy, but I want to try it one more time.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight. You given.
Demolish the.
I don't see how this is going to through the kitchen.
It could be that your eyesight is still too poor to notice it. Behind.
One more time. But this time, I want to wear perception, 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 perception. I don't have anything for perception. Damn. Okay. Never mind. I can try the trash container. Which trash container was that? This one?
The trash container stand. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. You see a box full. Not much to see. There's nothing more. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Guess it won't matter. This was a different trash container, but I don't think it was. What's this? Those last 30 minutes.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Let's find that door.
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I... You see ahead, you immediately feel drawn. man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots.
Of course. You have questions, don't you? Come back late.
I gotta steal his boots while Kim isn't around.
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How can I help you?
You mentioned a Jean-Marie Barreau. Who's that?
Oh, sweet Jenny. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world.
Do not defile her memory, Gaston. Let her rest in peace.
So you both know her.
We knew her, all right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
Easy, no need for this to get ugly.
Oh, officer. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the 3 of us were just learning to walk and talk.
You stole her from me.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company. Officer.
What happened to her?
She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage. Peaceful. René and I were both by her bedside when she...
died. No use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back. Will it now?
Departed. Until the very end she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met.
Why?
She could never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married.
That is a bit odd.
Heck, technically, we're both still engaged to her.
You always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries.
He suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent, and turns away.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Do I have anything for rhetoric? Rhetoric. Rhetoric? No. No.
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How can I help you?
Can I have some sandwich?
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled approach. Time to get political.
What is political?
This right here is political.
What if I don't want to say any of these?
Say one of these fascist or communist things, or fuck off. Whoa, easy there, Goldmouth. He doesn't have to say anything. Re-engage cop mode and bail out, if you like.
Your sandwich is the tool of the oppressors.
What? What oppressors?
I am not going to listen to this comic connery.
Huh?
Let me ask you, comrade. Did you make the sandwich yourself?
Yes, officer.
Oh. Well, it's, decadent.
I really don't understand how my sandwich could.
I don't either, but would you rather eat a sandwich for you, the bourgeoisie, you butt?
I would rather just have this one, officer. It's really good.
Tell this lost comrade what the people's sandwich would be like. Distill the essence of the working man in a sandwich.
But imagine, minimal in design, sleek, efficient, simple.
The skepticism emanating from the Merry Senior could be sensed all the way to the Seminine Isles. He's not imagining it.
Melting butter, like the sun, shining on the backs of workers in the fields.
I don't hate worker food. Look, officer, I like different classic food. Fine dining, not worker backs. Please, just drop it.
Well, an attempt was made.
I like playing in the dark. Sharpens your nocturnal instincts. Feels like being on recon again.
So Jean-Marie Mandela to you?
There's nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death. Investigating.
Where was the photo of you two taken?
Revival Fair of 91 in the Thorberg district. A parade was held to honor Guillaume Le Lion's name day, and the Carabineers marched in the place of honor.
You looked happy in that picture.
This was the happiest day of my life.
What happened to you two?
I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch.
The Ikeda operation was a 7-year campaign, during which suzerain Guillaume's army forcefully united the people in the southeastern part of La Petite Continent, collectively known as the Ikeda tribes, under the Revacholian banner.
I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues.
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes.
Do May bells mean anything to you?
I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck.
Was this a royalist military tradition?
It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. Call them revolutionary flowers. Bells of the revolution.
Did they bring you that?
You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the idea for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston, but not while we have company. So, officers.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you have to wait for at least a month.
Alright. visual calculus. Let's go for it.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Judging by the size of the impact and the parallel lines of burnt rubber, the cause was probably a motor vehicle. These look like the same tire tracks I saw earlier, in front of the whirling rags.
Aha! Let's look at the crater.
Side slip marks indicated that the vehicle was traveling up the crater at 35 kilometers an hour.
I see, and the roof of the shack.
The black marks on the roof indicate that the vehicle vaulted from the crater to the roof of the shack.
And the metal roof panel.
The panel served as a takeoff ramp.
The broken posts.
The vehicle soared through the air, hitting the billboard and upsetting the posts. Then it continued its flight, taking the billboard with it.
And the sign.
The sign broke the vehicle's fall into the canal. The Samaran butter billboard still looks freshly painted, suggesting it took the plunge recently, within the past 72 hours.
Huh.
Still speeding, the vehicle made a loop and vanished into the fog along the coast.
What was the model of this vehicle?
There are two good candidates, the Caprice 40 and the Linear G22.
Why the Capri 40?
It's about the right size, and the tire marks look like they came from the skinny tires frequently found on that motor carriage. The Caprice 40 is a very popular model, with bank clerks, topping pie delivery drivers, secondary school teachers, cops, strippers dressed as cops, undressed strippers.
What about the Linnea?
Very sturdy but light motor carriage. More likely than most to survive that jump. The Linear G22 is not a particularly popular model due to its peculiar proportions, which the manufacturer's design team probably thought about for too long. You'd have to follow the tracks to be sure. The lieutenant looks on, waiting for you to wrap up your analysis.
Any theories about what happened here?
Looks like someone was in real hurry.
What kind of car do you think it was?
Probably a Capri 40.
That's quite likely, from what I can tell.
Some ideas who it might have been.
Oh.
Do you think they were connected to the murder?
The traffic hooliganism? I hope not. Fortunately, we are not traffic cops. Should we get back to the murder?
Well,
Somewhere in the depths of your alcohol-addled soul, you find a few threads that you can weave into a story.
this could have only been Jacob Earl.
The tip-top tourney champion?
After the untimely death of dear friend and fellow racer Alpha Charles and Fjordhammer, Jacob Earl was desperately chasing death on the racetrack, but death eluded him.
The lieutenant patiently listens to the words coming from your mouth.
After quitting frustration, he became a reckless, a ghost driver, searching for death on the streets of road while speeding.
Jumping canals at night? If I was Jacob Irv, I wouldn't drive in Martinez. The roads are awful. In conclusion, it's a colorful theory, but I don't believe Jacob Irv did this. Should we go?
No, I need to find him before tragedy strikes.
If we must.
Damn right we must. Alright. But it's past 9 o'clock, so we gotta go back to the apartments. Yep, wrong way.
Whoa, What have we here?
A bridge.
A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Looks like we got a construction code violation.
True. They never cleaned up the war damage. The rest of Revachol looks better, though.
What about the splitters?
The bridge is fine enough. Locals use it all the time, after all. It's nothing to worry about. Shall we?
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism. In other words, the star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is it upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What about the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
And white?
Because white is the color of peace. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. You are the big communism builder now. It's you or no one.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Yeah, the cleaning lady let us in.
Beautiful. So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
What a nice view here.
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
Is it Friday night? It feels like Friday.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather.
Why'd I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Very well, but first I want to talk to you. So many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one.
Besides, I've got to run.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
But I just found you again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
Only if you promise we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight. Take care, all right?
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
Something different about him I just can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
Yes, very mysterious.
Very.
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Okay. Yeah, let's get a apocalypse cop here into this jambalaya. I see. Well, it doesn't really suit me that much. Alright. Alright, let's talk to this guy before the end of the day.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Hanging? What a drag. He seems like a cultured gentleman. You should ask him about the finer things.
I have to inquire about this bed.
Oh yes, my friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. It's very comfy. That's really all I can tell you about it.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
So you witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
This is the break that we've been looking for.
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
Start from the beginning if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Aha.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
And what happened next? Were any of them 200 kilograms?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human. As far as I could tell. I went back inside.
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Men and women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
You're not sure at least one of them wasn't a woman?
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
Can you describe them in any way?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent. Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
Odd thing to say. They killed the guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock. I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So you didn't actually witness the hanging?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for. I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroit.
Of course. Anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing here?
The Coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what about in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the Coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're a bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
So what's this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the Coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
The price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below. No. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my question.
The Coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Fine.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Inter. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
Tell me more about this party.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the Coalition.
So when I said it was lacking a Carol, should I say I'm more...
Doing one's job doesn't automatically make one anyone's bitch. Besides, there are more nefarious powers to work for than the Moral Intern.
But of course.
But why?
Because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
Doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about Revachol?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
Democracy means nothing if the working class is oppressed.
Of course, the detective's personal views do not represent the views of the RCM.
Ah, my friend. But the lesson of the revolution is that communism does not work.
And you're telling me this would work better?
It's moving towards the right direction, and that's all that matters. Progress is measured in centimeters, my friend. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
What about Sur-le-Clef?
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clef is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
And what makes Revachol Sur-le-Clef's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clef. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Let's talk about something.
Whatever you wish, officer.
What about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
How so?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPIS?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
What's it stand for, though?
Why, it stands for progress and stability.
No,
like the Moral Intern.
The letters.
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You're not going to answer me.
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of the EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Then you say that candidate members never become real members?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
So how did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Peninsula? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? That's not...
Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend, too.
You haven't told me who he is.
Sorry. Who?
Your friend, the smoker on the balcony.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
What's his name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
Okay, so all you can tell me about him is he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
As though you weren't envious enough of the boy as is.
Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
Okay, and what are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
It's dark outside.
Listen.
What? I'm not hearing anything.
The Insulindian Bay.
I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I'm all ears, officer.
Well, you've told me nothing.
A moment, officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Well, my work here's done.
Of course. I'm sorry I couldn't be the break you were looking for. Good luck with the investigation.
Well, alright. So, going back to the rolling in ranks. It's nearly to time. Call it a night. Alright. So, that's going to be it for now. Let's do Haiku the Stream. Haiku the Stream is Icy Timberland. A blue delightful cheese squeaks before the puppy. So yeah, next time we'll be debriefing with Kim, the pinball hater, and then we will be doing some naughty things while his back is turned. Until then, later.